you just pick it up and you mess around.
Mm-hmm.
And while I love the noodle, I love noodling around. You get nothing done when you do it.
No. I mean, like when I say noodle, like I'll do some exercises and then I'll play with a loop. So at least I'm doing something productive other than just poking at a fretboard.
By the way, we're live, and I'm going to have to start at the top here. Now, guys, at Dark Corner Studios, if you want to talk directly to us, if this is anything like last week, where we had
already off to a great start, by the way.
We had hundreds of messages that we couldn't keep up to. So if you want to directly address us and you're not talking amongst each other, just at Dark Corner Studios so we get it and we can address it. A few of the things off the top here. David saying, why do my French friends laugh when they hear French Canadians? And can you play a Natural Beauty without the double drop detuning?
Because French Canadian dialect is a bastardization of the language.
Sean said, working today, try to spend some time talking about grip clamps. Sean, Dylan doesn't want to talk about grip clamps.
Hey, don't throw me under the bus.
I don't know what to talk about with grip clamps.
They're cool, things? And they grip and they're clampy. That's all I got. None of us are video people, Sean. You should come on here and talk about grip clamps.
Liberty Dude already mentioned Sean. Sean, you have been mentioned. Jimmy Carr blushes when I tell jokes.
Show your support for this channel with the purchase. Fuck you, YouTube.
Oh, you're not gonna what? You don't want to be a member? You don't want to be a member? Dan, the funny story about the LCT1040. So, I messaged my. I've got the same guy that gave me the LCT440. I sent him a message saying, dude, I see you guys have an announcement. I have no idea what it is. I would love to, if you can send me a review unit, I would love to, check it out. I can send it back to you, whatever. Crickets. Like, I'm talking like nothing. And I'm like, well, that's weird. And then I saw they released it. It's a $4,000 mic. The LCT1040. It looks the sexiest mic I've ever seen in my life. Now, I believe the 840 and the 940 share similar traits, but this thing just one little extra. And then I saw Podcastage got it, EPOS Vox got it, like all these streamers or YouTubers got it. I'm like, damn it! Now I really want one. Do I just go spend $4,000 on it?
I was gonna say even Warren Hewitt over at Produce Like a Pro did a video about it.
Yeah. No, and you know what? It's cool. It's cool. I get it. I'm not quite at the sphere where they're going to be sending me $4,000 microphones. I'm okay with that. Tell Dylan to think about them as nipple clamps. Dylan, does that pique your interest at all?
Nope.
He had to think about
already
it, though,
got
folks.
too many of those already.
He had to think about it. Oh, God, they read that out. I'm in deep YouTube shit now. Yeah, sorry, David. I live in Quebec too, so I live right beside the Québécois.
You're not right beside. You're inside the Québécois.
Yeah, un petit peu, just across the bridge. So I mean, my French sucks. My daughter's French is much better.
That's okay. Even if you learn Gatineau French, your French is still gonna suck.
But I've been finding this with microphones, and this is the thing. Like, I don't know how much I'm looking forward to branching into the incredibly expensive microphones. Yes, I really like, hell, I'll take a 1040. I have some interesting divergent plans with this channel, and it's kind of an interesting conversation. I saw it come up on Podcastage's page yesterday. Podcastage was talking about how some YouTubers who have 100,000 subscribers can charge up to 10 grand just for a video. So if a company gets a hold of you and says, can you feature this product? Here's $10,000. And Podcasters was like, well, you can't do that because you're a review channel.
Oh, fuck. I got grip clamps. Those little tiny. Yeah. They're like oversized clothespins.
David, I'm going to start telling everyone in Quebec that it was a joke. Don't you worry, buddy. I got you covered. So, and it was an interesting conversation because Banjo was saying that, you don't want to be taking money, receiving a product and doing a video about it. But then at the same time, my thought is, and I look at what LTT does, and you find fun ways to do it. And there's a million ways you can feature a microphone without a review attached to it.
Yep.
Think about and that's kind of where, when it comes to some of this stuff, where I kind of do want to take the channel.
It's getting out of the formulaic mentality, which I think is content creators of all industries and kinds get into that mentality of like conveyor, like it's the same thing every time because it works. Don't fuck with it. Yeah. Not great because people get bored. It's good to think outside the formula.
Well, I mean, if it works, if a formula works and you're releasing videos, but then I also recognize that Bandrew might not want to do videos like that, and that's cool. Like dude started a second channel just so he could keep stuff separate from his main channel.
Speaking of formulas,
fair.
Great segue. You want to talk about a new formula that you're starting to get into soon?
Okay, so this is actually where I'm going with that. I've come up with a concept of what I want to do is I want to start I'm going to be doing some covers. But I want to do it with like the full song recorded on one singular microphone, meaning every instrument played would be recorded through a specific microphone. And I want to highlight some of the cheaper microphones to show people what you can do with, let's say, an SM58 and recording a whole cover song just on that SM58. I'm actually going to get a bass drum. I'm going to get a tom and a snare. And I'm going to do the same thing with those. And that's what I want to do eventually. And it's not going to be a small process. It's not going to be an easy process, but I think it will also be a lot of fun. It'll also be an interesting way to see some of your favorite mics in action, right? Like it's great to review microphones, but now I've got a full thing of microphones that I've got nothing to do with. Yeah, and that's what I want to play with.
We sit around here talking about them all the time, but I mean, it's nice to be able to hear them. Plus, we talked about the idea of if this kind of stuff lands really well with you guys, with the audience, you can even put these things up on Spotify so that
California is calling. Sorry, 1 second.
Oh boy.
Hello, California. It's a form letter. I thought I had somebody in California that was going to love me. Sean says, "Hello world, there's a song we're singing. Come on, get happy." The concept of the video I'd be doing a full-on music video for it. I would be doing all of that stuff, but it's just highlighting some of the different microphones. I actually want to do one of these with the Blue Yeti. Because there's so much with you can do it. It would probably be a mostly acoustic cover because I don't want to know what it sounds like when you put a Blue Yeti up against a Marshall. But, but then you look at the Blue Yeti and all the different, you've got a lot of different, whatchamacallits on it. Jesus. You've got Omni.
See, now you've sent me down the rabbit hole of all the wonderful things I could do to torture a Blue Yeti.
But that's the thing, and that's part of the fun of it.
I've gone full-blown Blue Yeti sadistic in my head now.
And like I was talking to Dylan about it. I'm putting my ukulele to use. I've got the Gresh ukulele here. Gorgeous little thing, a little banged up. Got it at a decent price because it was a little banged up. But this thing sounds fantastic. I think it would be kind of fun.
My mandolin has a whole piece of wood missing from the neck. Banged up.
Yeah. Oh, and
the funny thing is, it's barely used. I don't even know how it happened. Like, I just looked one day in the back of it, and there was like a piece of the finish was gone. I'm like, what the fuck, Fender?
I love that.
Classic.
Liberty Dude. Here's a good question. Did you find space difficult with a 3x4 booth, and now you want a drum set, dude? Yeah, well, I'm not going to limit my growth due to the size. I would rather take so on the other side of this camera, just beyond the camera here is like a living room setup. That living room setup will go if Dark Corner Studios has to expand.
Well, it has to. I mean, a drum kit. I had to sell mine before moving here.
I was just going to reset it up each time. I was just going to no cymbals. I was just going to get the kick, the snare, and the tom. That's it.
So one thing I used to be a drummer in a band, and like that setup and the teardown every time, especially the teardown because you're drunk. So the teardown sucks. You're like, oh well, my fist went through that. Hey, I gotta get another remo.
Yeah,
Fuck.
I remember doing the teardown with my band as well. It is a pain in the butt. Don Coven. I don't think I've seen Don here before.
Welcome.
Missed the start. King's X kept coming up in my playlist. If you know, you know. Nice. I don't know what he's talking about, but I do love
idea.
King's X. Rabbit hole grip clamps. Sean is still on the grip clamps.
On the grip.
Didn't you have to go to work, Sean? I'm not rushing you out the door. I'm just. Okay. So, Sean, what about grip clamps would you like to talk about? How about that? Okay. What different?
Other than the fact that they exist.
Other than the fact that you can clamp it to things and it will grip.
I mean, it's great for backdrops. That's really the only thing I use it for is keeping backdrops taut.
Yeah.
That's about it.
Well, and you know what? I do plan on getting a green screen at some point because, room and space for all of this crap.
I'll just piss off Mrs. Dark Corner Studios. Just paint a wall.
I did that already. This whole place, like, I'm the one that picked out this.
No, but I mean paint a wall green.
Oh, paint a wall green. That's not a very good green screen.
It's better than a sheet with dimples all over it.
No, I wasn't going to get a sheet. I was going to get a professional green screen. Like a proper, the nice one. Even is it Corsair that just released the green screen?
No.
Yeah.
Corsair, like the keyboard company.
Well, no, Corsair owns Elgato. And Elgato released a green screen. They actually released a large one as well.
Like I'm in my head, I'm thinking like market segment. I guess Elgato's streamers. So
yeah. Well, that's the thing, right? Streamers are buying that stuff up. Yep. Blue or orange, big or small? Dylan, do you use those stretcher things too?
No, I just use the clamps. Mine's Nylar backed, so it can retain, like, all the dimples go away as long as you keep it taut.
Yeah. Well, I just the way with the proper green screen, the light is no issue. Lighting is not an issue whatsoever.
Yeah, well, that's the thing is if it's the right material, the diffusion is like perfect, and you don't have like hot spots all over.
Yeah, and that's the problem with painted walls. You paint the wall green.
Depending on what the finish of the paint is. If it's a glossy finish, but if it's a paint that's designed for green screen.
Well, I guess I could do
that. Chroma
like I could just paint the wall back here green screen. That would probably work. That would piss her off. Something fierce. Although this has been I've been told that this is my space, so I don't think it should matter. David at Dark Corner Studios, big shimmery symbol would be a good thing, like a huge shimmery one, like really, really big.
Just a giant, like 28-inch ride or some shit.
CF Wheezy, how you doing? Happy Friday to you guys.
That's been a while. We haven't seen.
No, he was here a couple weeks ago.
Was he? I don't remember.
Yeah, I think he lurks. I don't think he talks. Shep CMC641 for dialogue. Your opinion? I have no idea. Never used it. Do you know that, Dylan?
See, cutting out a mask is great until I move, and then it's not so great. And I got fucking keyframes all over Premiere. It just looks like a fucking dot.
I see what you're doing. You're just ignoring Camille. That's what you're doing. You're just gonna ignore Camille.
I'm not ignoring. Technically, Gear Junkie too. Hi, Gear Junkie, because we.
Yeah, I said hi to Gear Junkie.
No, you didn't. You said hi to CF Wheezy.
Then I said Gear Junkie, or I was starting to say it. Lurk for sure. Yeah. See, I'm assuming CF Wheezy sticks around and just lurks in the background. Seems like a bit of a lurker.
That's my thing. I don't usually comment on lives when I'm on them like myself.
Dylan, do you take advantage of having such a name? Ooh, good question.
Do I take advantage? I mean, lots of women have said that I've heard before have said that they wish that they'd gotten with a Dylan, so that's cool. But other than that, there's other than the fact that everyone asks me how the hell I spell it because it's like one name with like 8 different spellings.
Yeah, I've known 2 other different spellings, just so you know.
Don't move. It brings a whole new meaning to a talking head video.
So I've got to check this out. Camille asked about the Shep CMC641.
I don't even know what that is. Is that a mic?
I've never even heard of it, but now I kind of want to try it. It's a 420. Oh, it's a short shotgun. Nope. Well, yeah, it is. It's like a super cardioid. Oh, it's $1,700.
I was gonna say it sounds like halfway between a shotgun and a pencil.
Oh, yes, I do know this microphone. This is the one that has challenged the the Sennheiser MKH416, and it's got a fantastic sound from what I've heard for spoken word. So if that's what you're looking for, Camille, I can say I've only watched videos of comparisons of that microphone, and everybody that's put it up against the MKH416 has said that it's a fantastic sound, and it's one of the few that actually can take on the MKH416, just in case you're wondering.
I'm usually drinking beer and have nothing productive to add to the combo. That's me. Every week. That's me.
Sean says Dairy Queen dilly bars. Hi, Ken. Sorry, brother.
Yes,
Sorry,
100%.
Ken, this is what we were saying earlier, and no offense. If you want to, because last week we got completely inundated with messages. So we're telling everyone, if you want to actually address us and you're not just talking to other people, at Dark Corner Studios, and then address us. Because last week we got into the weeds bad. Like, it was really, really bad.
Into the CF weeds.
Nice.
CF weedsy.
Have you ever wanted a microphone that looks back at you? Icon Audio. I've been looking at the Icon. I really want one, but I'm not willing to spend the money on it. That's the Earthworks Icon.
Earthworks is good shit. Earthworks
yeah,
is good shit.
and
I fully intend on getting Earthworks, their pencil mics at some point. A pair of them.
I have to contact them again. I know they're not like, they send out to everybody, but I'm also still recognizing I'm still small fish in a big pond. So that's okay. If I'll reach out to them as I get a little bit bigger, maybe when I hit 10K, and we'll see what goes on there. I do want to get my hands on them, but with all of the microphones sitting behind me, I just actually sold off 2 of them. I can't justify going and buying more as long as I have all of this, unless it's really like a feature mic that I know is going to do well on the channel.
I mean, you could resell some of the ones that you know you're never going to use.
No,
because I mean these
selling microphones is hell right now.
It is, but it's. I mean, in your case, you're kind of at an advantage that a lot of them have barely been used.
Yeah, and I've done that. Like, I don't sell any microphones that are sent to me for free. I sell only the ones that I've actually purchased, just because I feel kind of dirty selling ones.
Yeah, it's an ethics thing. Yeah.
Okay, David says, I forgot to hit like. Maybe remind folks. It's an algorithm thing and all. Yeah,
good point.
Crush that like button. Actually, I want to see how that goes. So this, the live stream, we don't make money off of it. From a views perspective, it doesn't make anything. And I'm okay with that. We don't do this for the money. But I want to know if this thing kind of gets pushed out there more if there's more likes on it. So if you can do me a favor, just hit the like button. I want to see whether or not this thing kind of gets a wider audience because there's a better percentage of likes on it. So, yeah.
Upvote that shit.
Upvote it, yo. Daniel Fellini. Daniel, welcome to the live stream, brother.
Really coming.
I just got the Ethos, and it is wonderful. Man, I got you. And that's the other thing. The one thing I've got away when I'm doing, when I'm purchasing microphones is what I'm going to get out of it from the YouTube channel. So if a microphone I think is going to do really, really well, I'll purchase the microphone and just keep it. That's why I bought the P series. And I was right. The P series did fantastic on YouTube. But I'm not guaranteed.
Aiden's setup is janky. Sort of works.
Who said that?
I'm just replying to
Paul. Aiden, I know you work in radio. Have you done your show live remotely at home?
Right now.
That's
literally
all
right
I'm
now.
doing, brother.
Yep.
If so, what are the major differences between that and working in studio? If not, what have you heard from others who have? Paul, I do my whole show from my basement. Actually, behind me, I have, can't really see it.
A little wide
But
orbit.
it's a
not wide
Wheatstone.
orbit, the Wheatstone.
There's a
the other
Wheatstone board to actually where my finger's pointing right here. This Wheatstone sideboard came from our main thing at work. We stream everything on not cast streams. We stream everything on, what's it called?
Clean feed.
Clean feed. And then we use remote software to remote into the wide orbit computer as well as the utility computer. And we can route sound and stuff. Dan, cheers. Thanks, brother. Thanks for the super chat. So everything's kind of done remotely. I don't obviously have touchscreen for it all, but it works just fine. There's a tiny bit of lag. I would say about 0.7 seconds of a lag.
Unless you're working in a CHR brand, the lag's usually not really that
and
big
that's
of a deal.
but you also learn how to work with it, so I know when to hit the auto button.
Yeah, you like in your head like compensates, like in advance. Yeah.
Yeah, and it's been great, man. Paul, Clean Feed is the shit. It's honestly an amazing.
Honestly, so we had a sales meeting today, and we were talking about because our station moved and they cut the prod studio out of the station, so now having conversations about how the hell are we going to get clients in and record shit, and I brought up Clean Feed, and like our reps have some mixed opinions about it because so far when we were doing Clean Feed, a lot of times like I'm having to Clean Feed into clients like on their phone over shitty iPhone earbuds, and they're like, well, Clean Feed sounds horrible. I was like, no, Clean Feed sounds fine. We're at the mercy of the hardware at the destination. That's the problem.
You know what
I said,
you do?
if you're in a studio, Clean Feed sounds undistinguishable.
Give them a Samsung Q2U. Send them that.
Oh no,
Hell,
I sent them. You and I, once when we were on Clean Feed together, I sent them just a little snippet of that.
Yeah.
During one of our streams, and they're like, "You guys were in the same room." I'm like, "No, we were on the other side of the fucking province."
Yeah.
Like
it's great.
It works fine. Yeah.
It's awesome.
Especially for a free tool.
Apparently, the stream audio got really quiet. Sorry about that, Ken. Okay,
No,
see if we see. Dan, once again, thanks for that super chat, brother. I appreciate that. That really helps us get it through. I'm going to learn how to do the Star Wars scrolling text. All right, Dan. At DCS, that took too long. I was trying to send that a while. You were saying you weren't making any money on these.
Yeah, as soon as you said that, I was like, ooh, hopefully people don't feel like they have to
send
money
yeah. And like, I mean, by all means, I'm not going to say no. I've gotten past the shy.
Yeah.
Love you all. I know a lot of you guys support the channel through memberships and all that stuff. Don't empty your bank account. That's all I'll tell you. Sean at Dark Corner
spend
Studios.
too much of our time doing that to ourselves. We don't need you to do it to yourselves too.
Sean at Dark Corner Studios. How are Clean Feed's grip clamps?
Phenomenal.
They only work for nipples, though.
They only work for nip clamps.
Oops, it was my end. Stupid phone went goofy. Ken turned down his own volume. I love that. David, I think there's a tiny bit of lag. Heck, you said that 5 minutes ago. Clean Feed flipping great. Did drama with that last year. Yeah, I was introduced to it by my engineer. I'm convinced that it's probably the nicest sounding remote audio that you can get outside of paid services. What is it, ISDN?
Well, that's a technology, but IPDTL.
IPDTL. I always mess that up.
Such a stupid company name. Like it's a great product, and I've used it with VO Talent before. It works great. Why call it that? That's such a stupid name.
I don't know. That's stupid. Bangs, never refuse cash unless there's promises attached. And then Sean says, boom.
Boom.
No refusal of cash. It's what.
Bye, Sean.
Bye, Sean. I'll never say no to cash, but at the same time, it's kind of a weird symbiotic relationship when Dylan and I get up and do a Friday Live, and then people throw you money. There's this brain wave telling you that, well, you need to acknowledge that and like somehow apologize for it. Oh man,
like
thank
you feel
you
like
so much.
It's not even like even on a more abstract level. You feel like you need to do something for that money, even though we forget that we're already doing something.
Yeah, Midnight Wolf. Cheers, brother.
Like you feel like you have to, like, I don't know, take your pants off and dance on your head or something. Like you feel like you have to like be like a dancing monkey.
We don't need to see that, Dylan. Either side. I'm not doing it. It's one of the. It's a weird kind of. And while I understand the support and I appreciate it and I love it, it's still kind of, it's like one of these like, thank you. How much can I do, right? Like I can take my shirt off if you really want, but I don't.
We don't need to see that. Midnight Wolf might want to see it.
Icon Pro Audio Martian mic. Okay, let me look this up. Icon Pro Audio Martian mic.
That's for the OnlyFans channel.
Looking back at you. Oh, weird. I love the look of that. I'm guessing that's a stereo mic, or is that... No, that's not. That's just one capsule in the middle. That's a cool looking mic.
That's what it's boiling down to now. It's all about aesthetics.
Well, I mean, when you think about what people are buying mics for nowadays, most people aren't, running a voiceover studio. Most people are using them on YouTube or
Yeah, they're using them on camera in some capacity.
yeah, so it does make sense that you're going to break away from certain molds, right? Especially if you have to have the microphone on screen.
Well, I think too, like, it's even, and like I say about aesthetics, not in a like a jabby way, but it's like we've kind of run out of innovations as far as the actual sound quality is concerned.
Yeah.
So like, it's nice to see that companies are still looking for some ways to do new things other than just rehashing the same old shit.
Yeah,
every
and
year.
That's the thing. Like, we're not going to make many advancements into crystal clear audio, right?
Well, even in we're seeing that with phones and computers now, because I mean, Moore's law is falling apart. They've proven that for a while now. But yeah, that Martian looks neat.
Liberty Dude, please don't take your shirt off. Hey, I will actually take monetary funds to keep my shirt on. I'm not gonna lie. I will be a reverse stripper, okay?
A reverse stripper.
It's okay. Yeah, and if you need to put it into the cleavage, I can also do that. Justin Phillips, thanks for the great videos, brother. My Mixcast 4 shows up tomorrow, and I cannot wait. Yeah, I've still got the Mixcast 4 sitting off to the side. I love the thing, man. It's fantastic. Good luck with that. I hope you take your time with it, though. It's got a little bit more of a learning curve than the Rodecaster Pro.
Yo, look up the Icon Pro Audio Cocoon. It looks like one of those candelabra light bulbs. It's kind of neat.
Icon Audio what?
Yeah, Cocoon, like COCOON. Cocoon.
Oh, that is weird.
It looks like a candelabra bulb, like one of those chandelier light bulbs.
Maybe I'll actually send a note to Icon. Say, hey, you know what I've been trying to do? I wonder if there's anybody on this channel that watches this channel, if they're interested. Oh, using the P170 there, Ken. I wonder if there's anyone on this channel that would like to see some microphone builds. You know how you can... Oh, David, cheers, man. Drooling. That's a fantastic emoji, buddy.
especially when coupled with currency.
Yes. Fuck, I lost my train of thought with that. Would anyone like to see microphone builds? There have a lot of microphone companies that do like... Neumann knockoffs and stuff like that, and you build it yourself and you get all the components and you put it together. And I've reached out to a couple of the companies and none of them will get back to me. And I'm like, basically what I'm looking for is, guys, I'm willing to buy it if you can give it to me for cost, and I'll feature it on the channel and I'll, talk about your company. I don't need it free. I just want
to. We've even talked about like maybe later this year trying to do something with Antelope. It's kind of like that.
Yeah. And that's something that I would really like to do, but none of them are getting back to me, and it's annoying because I know damn well the price of the kit that they give you is not worth the price that you pay. Meaning it's not worth $800 for that knockoff U67. It's just because it's a knockoff U67 but then you look up the parts, like resistors don't cost $17 a piece.
No,
I'm sorry.
A lot of it is brand and labor. Although not in that order.
But you put it together yourself.
Oh, you're talking about like the DIY
yeah,
ones.
The DIY. Yeah. So I'm wondering if anybody would be interested. Let me know. Hit me up down in the comments if you're interested.
At that point, they're charging you for the experience.
But give it to me for cost, so you guys don't lose any money. I don't have to blow my wallet out just to buy a microphone to put together on camera. But none of them will get back to me. I've reached out to like 4 or 5 of them. I don't think they want me to test their microphone on camera. I think that's the problem. So maybe I'll put up a public fund to try to out some of these guys. I'll get maybe the TLM103 comparison, and then I'll put it up against an actual TLM103. Then that's worth spending my own money for.
You should do some shootouts with some warm audio.
Yeah, I'm just starting to work with Warm Audio right now. I've got their boom arm, which is, by the way, fantastic.
What's the model number of that?
WAMBA.
Wamba.
Yeah, I don't know why they went with that, but cool. something boom arm. Mounted boom arm. That's what it is.
As opposed to not mounted boom arm?
Well, it's because it clamps to your desk. So it's mounted.
Aren't all boom arms in some way mounted?
Yeah, but maybe
So
that's not what it's for.
I want to briefly, really quickly talk about that. So there's two clients that I deal with. I'm not going to say their name because I'm about to shit on them. And they don't seem to know what a positioning statement is for. So there's one client, and their positioner, or their slogan, as a lot of people call it, is making the difference. That's and they're not a charity. They're not a community outreach. They're a commercial retail establishment. And
Nice.
their positioner is making the difference. Other client, same rep, who is actually the rep I was talking to on the phone earlier. I've talked to her about this. Car dealership, and their positioning line is doing it right. That's it. Doing
Nice.
it right.
That's
Why?
a porn.
You might as well. And it's not even like doing, it's like DOIN. Doing it
That's
right.
like an 80s porn, like
Doing
Debbie
it.
doing it
Doing
right.
it.
Yeah.
But like, positioning statements are supposed to position you in your market segment. That's the whole purpose.
Yeah. Oh, I forgot I still had this thing in my beard.
What thing?
Oh, I have a little ponytail in my beard. Sorry, guys.
Oh, nice.
Let's stretch that out.
A
Midnight
little
Wolf.
chimney sweep on there.
Oh, sorry, I missed a couple here. Shirt on. That was David. Sorry, David. I won't take my shirt off. I promise.
You're never going to live that down.
Yeah, Adam Fretz. Hello, everyone. That sounds really cool. That's usually how it
I
works.
was going to say, that's a great name.
Yeah, Adam Fretz. I'm
That's an awesome name.
guessing he's a guitarist. Midnight Wolf. Sorry, just on a roof after 15 inches of snow cleaning a satellite dish. Yeah, we were supposed to get that same system coming through. I'm guessing you're in the Northeast there, Midnight Wolf. We got about 5 centimeters. We were supposed to get to 30.
I mean, we're in the snow belt where I am, in the GTA here, so we get pummeled with this shit, but it's been crazy. Aiden, you should ask Adam Fretz about pinky exercises.
Oh, Adam Fretz. Do you know who Adam Fretz is?
I don't.
So we'll get to the guitar talk in a few. Let's catch up in a few. Bangs, isn't there a public parts list on Gear Sluts and such for a DIY kit? I actually will look that up. I'm going to try that out, and I'll because there was also somebody else, Liberty Dude. You should consider creating a video of what it would take to get the parts yourself and what that process would look like.
Oh God.
It would be fun because most of the parts are not that big of a deal. Like the capsule.
In my head, like, so did you ever hear about the guy who decided he wrote a book about it, building his own toaster, like from scratch, like he mined the minerals, like, it took him, I think it took him like 4 years, and it cost him like a couple $1,000s. And at the end, he's just like, just buy a fucking toaster.
Yeah, well,
that's what it basically was the conclusion.
Year one, he probably could have come to that conclusion, right?
I mean, I had a prof once that built his own ribbon mic from scratch.
Yeah, but that's
like,
also an accomplishment.
Well, it is, and it's a conversation piece, obviously.
Yeah.
And I'm sure it had. Well, we heard it. It has a very interesting sound, very useless in most cases. But I mean, it's a creative. It's a paintbrush, right?
Yeah, and it's something you do for an accomplishment. I want to build a dynamic microphone. It's not going to be a dynamic microphone that I use. It's good, but it's going to be a cool. Like, you're going to learn so much about it by building it yourself. I think it's a cool idea.
Oh yeah, building dynamics plus, as far as it's probably the easiest.
Yeah.
The easiest of the mics to do.
Gear Junkie DIY build, I'd watch those. Yeah, I think so too. That's actually, like, I do have the, eventually this booth derailed a lot of plans. And what happens is I'll start a big project like the booth or the Frankenstein mic, and then I'll get inundated with products where I kind of have to push through and get the reviews done, and because I've got to spend time with it. So it's so hard to get some of those bigger projects done with the schedule I have right now. But yeah, DIYing mics might be a fun one to shoot over like a month or something. Bang's positioning statement: we get you wasted fast.
Wasted fast. That's great.
Like that. Richard, how's she going, brother? Midnight Wolf, Midwest Indiana. You are nowhere near us. Never mind.
Nowhere even close. Fucking Indiana.
The toast issue ended up having plastics being his major issue, and he had to mine the plastics. God, that sucks. Jen. Sec, what is that? I heard clamps and nipples. I'm in. Thanks for the super chat. Thank you. I appreciate that, Jen. Gear Junkie, I enjoy the gunshots and inner workings. Love that shit. Oh, gut shots. Yeah, I was doing that for a while when I was reviewing condenser microphones, taking them apart, showing you what the guts are, stuff like that. A lot of people skip that, but I still want to do that because that to me is the cool part of microphones, is looking at, especially like with the Perception series, when you open each one up and see how they differ and how little they differ. Like the 220 and the 420 had a wired secondary capsule. That's all it was. So the 220 had a wire going to the center on one side. The 420 had a wire on both sides. So
well,
it looks like
and that's because of the polar patterns, because that's how those mics get different polar patterns.
Yeah, but it's like that's the only difference. So you could probably wire it up and do it yourself if you want.
Now, is there a difference in the quality of the electrical components, like the resistors, caps, and whatnot?
No. There's only like a $30 difference between the mics. So, Mindo Works, greetings from Scotland. Hey, man.
Good day, lad.
Don't get Dylan drunk. That'll take a while.
That's honestly what happens.
Liberty Dude, plenty of brands make their take on famous mics. Buy a toaster or a knockoff.
I know. I have an idea for a video that you should do, Aiden.
What's that?
Buy just throw a couple bucks at a Telefunken U47, and take it apart and take 0 pictures while you take it apart, and then try to put it back together.
Blindfolded.
And then plug it back in and see what happens. I mean, like, best case scenario, you put it back together and you get a different sound because you put some resistors in the wrong places.
Yeah.
And the values are all backwards. Worst case scenario, it blows up.
You blow it up, yeah. So if I ever get to the level of Linus Tech Tips, I promise you I will do that.
Nice.
I will have somebody else take it apart, and then I will go in and try to figure out how to put it back together. Or if you want to crowdfund that microphone cost for me.
No, we'll have an electrical engineer take it apart, and then we'll have you put it together, and they'll like rate you on a scale of 1 to 10 on like how you did.
I like that. That's actually a great idea.
They'll like critique you on your putting together skills.
Shirt off DIY build. Yeah, I'm gonna need a little bit more time at the gym. Actually, the gyms are opening up in Quebec, so I'm going back as of Monday. Thank God.
Really? Oh, Legault stepping up to the plate.
Oh my God. Hello from the Deer Green place, Glasgow. That's one of my places I want to go. Glasgow. I want to go through Scotland, back through Ireland.
I want to go to Perthshire. I got some friends from out that way, and it seems like a nice little hold.
Just
I was Irish.
No stripping, but how much to dye the beard bright red?
Ooh. There was a traffic guy on a news channel once that had like a bright orange beard. I don't know if you saw that blooper.
See, so my hair is blonde. That's the big problem I have. I once tried to use hair dye on it to dye it, but then it didn't take. But I just walked around looking like I'd just eaten a deer.
My shit grows in too fast, so if I dyed it, like it would be like that for like a week maybe.
Well, the stuff on the sides here stops growing, and the stuff in the middle stops growing. I would do it for free. Maybe I'll just go. You need to have a specific dye for your beard, don't you? Like it can't just be hair dye.
I don't know. I've never tried it.
Of course, I'll look into it. Justin, for you, brother, because you gave me $5, I'm gonna look into it. That right there is service. Midnight Wolf, Dark Corner Studios. I built a mic in school out of a styrofoam cup, paper, coil, and a 747 op amp. It worked, but sucked. That's what I want to do, Midnight Wolf.
A 740 an op amp and a styrofoam cup.
I want to just build one. I don't need to build an SM58. I just want to build a microphone, and for the experience of doing it. I want to do it myself. I don't want to follow a guide online. I want to actually figure the concept out on my own and do it. I think it would be a lot of fun. Gear Junkie, that's the money when comparing the tiny variances. Ibanez TS7, TS808, TS9. Usually 2 resistor change or add a clipping diode or lead. Or is that LE? I'm guessing that's lead. Is that an AKG P170 you're using? Yes, it is, my friend. AKG P170.
And I got 2 of them right behind me.
Yeah, it's turned into my shotgun mic for doing lives. I'm going to be using it for a secondary channel that I'm going to be doing as kind of an off-camera microphone. I love this thing. It's fantastic. Let me.
They're great mics
back it
for
off just a
especially for
bit.
the price, like $100 for a pencil mic, and they sound great.
Yeah, no kidding.
The only thing I find is because this is probably, I'm assuming the same for yours, Aiden, but because the grills are not like mesh like the 184s, the NT5s, there is a little bit of a scoop in the very high, like the 18K area, that because there's the waves are hitting and bouncing off of the shield on the front, and I'm not a fan of that. But other than that, they sound awesome.
I've only used it, primarily on voice and a little bit of acoustic, so I haven't really heard the 18K. Also,
most people don't.
I don't have an ear for 18K. I'm almost sure I can't hear 18K. Almost
Random
sure.
question, Aiden, before I forget.
What's that?
Would you say the skin on your face is random as fuck? Would you say the skin on your face is sensitive or not?
110% sensitive.
Okay, then don't use. So they say you can use hair dye on your face, but they say if you have sensitive skin, then no, you get like proper like dye for like facial
All right.
hair.
Oh, you know what I'm gonna look at? David wants you to dye your hair green and beard red. If you had to choose one of those, go green or red. So if would you do it? Would you dye your hair green? Come on. So March 17th is coming up. March 17th is coming up.
I'd consider it. Yeah, that's true. I could go full on patties with it. Full on paddy wagon. No, that's a different thing. I'll think about it. All right. About it.
Oh, Paul. I also need to thank you, Aiden. A year ago, I saw your video about podcasting YouTube. Because of that, my co-host and I made our show a full video podcast using proper cameras. It has helped out a lot.
Holy shit.
You know what? You are one of 5 people that watched that video, Paul. I appreciate that. That was one of my most underperforming videos. But a lot of people, I teach how to podcast course in college. And that's one of the things that I teach them is how to transfer your podcast onto YouTube. And I use that by taking the Joe Rogan approach to it of using clips. And clips that are clickbaity clips. Like astrophysicist talks about whether or not he thinks there's life on Mars. You know, that kind of crap.
Clipbait.
And then it always points back to the full interview. And that kind of stuff is fantastic for building audiences using YouTube. And Joe Rogan did the reason Joe Rogan is as big as he is mostly YouTube.
Oh,
he has found a ton of his audience off of the clips on YouTube. It's ridiculous how powerful it can be if you get good at it. That's the problem, though. You have to be good.
I still think YouTube is the big pull for his. I mean, the whole drama with Spotify and whatnot. I mean,
he got $100 million contract from Spotify.
As much as it's shitty, what's going on with the whole it's not really gonna hit the bottom line as much.
No, but I'm not sure he's making money off of YouTube. I think he's still posting to YouTube, but I think he gives up his royalties for it.
Really?
Well, they basically gave him $100+ million for his content. Why would they let him walk out the door and post it somewhere else?
If Spotify kicked him out, obviously he'd switch back to the old model.
Absolutely. But I'm pretty sure I would be surprised if Spotify let him keep the rights to his YouTube. They probably had him sign that over.
Some kind of exclusivity agreement for that amount of money.
For that, you're going.
I was gonna say they're kind of entitled to it for that.
Yeah, like I'm pretty sure he can't, procreate without asking them. Like I'm pretty sure. An opera singer was recorded using harmonics to hit 17 kilohertz, world's highest pitch from a human.
I didn't hear it, but I heard of it, and that's wild. That's
I
crazy.
Can't hear beyond 17.
I mean, a lot. Like, when was the last time you actually got like a hearing test?
I actually got one about 3 years ago, and I had near perfect. But I start to lose at 17 and a half.
I think that's actually, for your age, that's pretty good.
It is. I've played live concerts as a guitarist.
I was gonna say you like metalhead too, so I was like,
well, never metalhead, but I've gone to a lot of metal shows. I've never played.
Well, that's it. Like those things will rip your eardrum.
I never used ear protection either. Mindo Works. I'm using them, the P170s, for Zoom work calls. Nice. Liking them, but a bit muddier than the MKH416. Yeah, I mean, the difference between a P170 and an MKH416 is going to be vast, but then also so is the price. Did you guys compare them? Also, can I confirm our full brass body? I used my file on them. Jesus. No, I haven't compared. I'm still waiting to get an MKH416. I really want one, but they're quite expensive.
My order got canceled because they couldn't figure out the supply chain situation time. So they're like, look, she's like, we'll give you your money back when you, like, we'll let you know when they're around again. You can put the order in.
All right, Liberty Dude says they do make can hair color spray for temporary coloring and washout. That's not how I do it. If I dye my beard, I'm like putting that dye in for good.
Gonna do it proper.
Yeah, gonna do it proper. Justin, not sure if you could cast to multiple platforms live, but have you considered cross-posting your recordings to other places like Rumble? I'm avoiding Rumble just because of the Rumble's getting a bit of a reputation, and considering we're in Ottawa, or I'm in Ottawa right now, yeah, I'm staying away from politically biased,
politically charged platforms.
It's a politically biased platform. Let's be perfectly honest. It's very much right.
Well, I mean, it's like Parler.
But that's the thing. Like, I'm staying away from anything that has a political affiliation.
Yeah.
Some might argue that YouTube has a political affiliation.
I think every company does,
Yeah.
but if it's super prevalent.
But
I
like
mean,
with Rumble, Rumble was created out of YouTube banning creators, right?
Yeah.
So yeah, probably not going to be cross-posting. I've considered it on a few occasions, but I don't know. We'll see whether or not. A lot of the problems with all those other places as well is you don't make any money. So cross-posting kind of becomes
the return on investment of time is like nothing.
And that's a big deal.
Yeah.
Also, do you guys really want to see me like dye the beard? Let me know. Hit me up if you want to see the beard dyed. Actually, am I able to post a? Here, wait a second. How do you post a? Oh, here it is. Create a poll. Aha!
In the dark. There we go.
Ah, I've never posted a poll before. There we go. Poll's up. There we go. We're back. I think Rogan is only posting clips to YouTube, isn't he? Well, that's the thing. His product should be owned completely by Spotify. So I don't know whether or not he's actually posting those clips. My friend thinks that I bought my P420 because of the name. Nice.
I mean, Spotify might have exclusive rights to the entire product, but he may have swung a clause to like get 15-second hits here and there to be able to post. Because, I mean, they can't prevent him from promoting. And if anything, promoting only does Spotify a service.
But if they own the actual show, I wonder... Well, I'm not saying whether or not he has control over it, but I'm guessing he doesn't make money off of it.
I don't think Spotify owns the show. I mean, I think they own the distribution rights because he's still producing the show.
But that's distribution, is putting it on YouTube. Like, well, that's distribution.
Posting clips, though, that's promotion.
That's I'm not going to... Maybe. I would be.
If I was in his position, I would argue because it's like you guys aren't going to stop me from promoting my content. Like that's.
Well, I mean, he doesn't need to promote his content. I mean, come on.
I wouldn't. I mean, I don't listen to
news
Rogan a lot
channels
anyway,
promote that guy.
But like, I'm not enough of a Rogan follower to like listen to every episode. Like, if I see a clip that is interesting or there's somebody, then I'll watch the clip and go, okay, maybe I'll watch the whole hour long thing.
Bangs, the Rode NTG3 sounds similarish to the MKH416. I've heard that. I find on lower registers like mine, there's much more of a difference. The MKH416 just sounds a lot nicer on low end registers. I might be wrong, but I haven't had both in front of me to test it out. I think
it's less sibilant than the NTG.
Oh, okay, yeah, and that's gonna help.
The NTG is much more reactive to like high mid stuff.
Bandrew. Damn, I missed the whole show. I'm going to need you to start from the top. All right.
All right. Well, Aiden's been threatening to take his shirt off the entire time.
We're live. Welcome, Bandrew. We were talking about you earlier. That's all I'm going to say. No, I just mentioned him once or twice, but that's all I'm going to say, and I'm going to let him fret about that. Rumble's been around for like 10 years and was not a YouTube competitor. It's grown into one. Amazing that apolitical is now a bias. But the problem is them being apolitical versus the the general user base isn't apolitical. So it's not a matter of like the actual company of Rumble being apolitical. It's the user base and the association the user base has. And that's why, like, the amount of work it takes me to repost to Rumble, if there's no actual value in doing it.
I don't really think it's possible for a company to be, as long as a company has policies, which every company does, you have to be somewhat political, whether you acknowledge it or not. I don't really think it's possible for a corporation to be apolitical.
No, and like your policies will reflect those. Like
exactly.
And I'm not going to get into the conversation of hate speech and all that stuff, but that's kind of where places like Rumble really did develop their user base, was after YouTube started demonetizing what they considered hate speech. So,
which I'll try to give Rumble a pass because Google's definition of hate speech is rather broad.
Midnight Wolf says Bandrew almost missed nipples and no shirts. I haven't shown my nipple on this.
I challenge someone who's in the comments to summarize this entire stream in 30 words or less.
Almost nipples and no shirts. I think that would be up there.
That's part of it.
Dan spoiled it. Bandrew, we started out with some LCT1040 envy. Yeah, it's right up there with penis envy. It's a big one.
It's a big one, yeah.
Ken Bandrew, I tried that already. Hope your clout gets him to relent. Yeah, I mean, I guess you can go back and watch it on triple speed or something. I think social companies should ban everyone.
I think the other way around. Everyone should ban social companies.
Yeah, the only reason I entertain social is for my radio. I understand that if I want to take YouTube to the next level, I have to have a social component to it. But outside of that, if I could literally throw my phone away and walk away from it, I would.
The only, like, a lot of people talk about, like, the scrolling addiction and being addicted to Facebook. I've never had that problem because, honestly, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram just make me feel like shit. So, in fact, it's the other way around. I scroll on them as little as possible. YouTube scrolling, on the other hand.
Yeah.
that is a serious problem.
I don't mind Twitter scrolling much, but because I've really got my feed down to an art. I only interact with certain, like, I'm not a big interactor.
You're going to make, I'm the same. Like, I know when I interact with somebody that gets flagged. It's like, oh, you're interested in this.
Yeah.
So I make sure that I don't even like or comment on something.
Yeah, like, I've got a friend who used to be in radio, now does OnlyFans. I've actually got a few of those friends.
You've talked about them on the stream
But
before.
because I've got a couple friends that are into OnlyFans and promote OnlyFans, now I get like, you might like, and that's just like, what did I just see? So Twitter's a fun place, man. It's like a minefield for me.
Oh yeah, Twitter I have less of a problem with. It's it's how carefully people unrealistically curate their existence on Instagram and Facebook. That's really, I don't think it does anything good for our society.
Nippers, clamps, and general audio talkie talk. Like it. I deleted all Twitter and Facebook a long time ago. Bangs, are you on Discord? You should join our Discord, Bangs.
Calling them out right now.
I was wondering whether or not Bangs was on Discord, because I always just assumed Bangs would be. Maybe running their own server, for all we know. Summary, nipples, stripping, and politics. There's a clickbait title. Oh, you know what we didn't talk about? A couple things with the guitar. I do have to go. If I didn't do YouTube or podcasting, I'd delete Twitter, Facebook, and everything. I'd just keep a YouTube account. That's it. It's all such a net negative. Yeah, I agree.
Bandrew is a guitar player. Let me post the pinky thing to him.
All right, give me like 2 seconds. my dogs are going crazy, and I actually.
Okay, you do that. I'll
entertain the masses. Okay,
I'll brief them on the thing. So
brief them.
So Aiden and I were talking earlier about guitar playing stuff, and Aiden's getting back into it, right? And as like with anything, if you've stepped away from it for a while, right, you kind of, you lose some of it and you have to reteach yourself. So one thing that Aiden's been struggling with is his pinky muscle, trying to get that actuation back. So he's been looking for exercises to do. I gave him some ideas of some stuff that I do to exercise all the fingers. But I'm curious, any other guitar players here, exercises to strengthen the pinky control? Any ideas? All this said, I was mentioning to him, walking up the frets is a great idea. Walking up and down the frets, just 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, up and down the strings is great to get the skew and everything. But Aiden's trying to get back into it because we're going to start doing a lot more music stuff on this channel, and he's going to need those skills. He's going to need to be record ready. So I'm putting the screws to him. Let's see what these comments got going on here. If I didn't have YouTube broadcasting, I would delete Twitter. Yeah, honestly, as somebody that is striving to be something of a content creator, public figure-y kind of a person, I really should be creating social media content more. I think I always struggle with the question that hits my head before I post of who gives a fuck. I know that's honestly where I have a problem, is I'll be ready to post something and I'll go, okay, realistically, who wants to see this content? Nobody. And then I won't post it. So my social media posting is pretty sparse. And I have an exercise is waking up the frets sound good. I just play the guitar and try to use it. Yeah, I gotta get some work done on some of my electrics. Actually, the frets are pretty dug out. But yeah, social media is a rabbit hole. I think try to stay away from it if I can. But yeah, so I've posed the question about the pinkyage.
So by the way, 65% of people think I should dye my beard. Okay, so yeah, it's this new thing. So I haven't played guitar since 2009, Good Friday 2009. And in that time, I ripped the muscle, or I ripped the tendon off of 65% off of my elbow. It's a tennis elbow tendon. And when I went back to playing, I found that my pinky finger strays way out to left field. And I haven't had to work on that since I was 14. So I think I've got to literally just go through the exercises again and get the pinky nice and tight. Bangs doesn't like... Wow, Bandrew's server too toxic. Wow. Damn.
What? Somebody just throwing shade?
Yeah, I'll let Bandrew and Bangs work that out. I have no idea.
Just hash that one out.
But yeah, so I'm working on it because I'm working on the intro solo for Fade to Black. That's one of the solos I used to know intimately, and I cannot play the fast arpeggiated sweep that he does near the end of the solo. If you know the Fade to Black solo, you'll understand the one I'm talking about. My pinky does not want to play along for those little triplets. So that's where I'm at. And that's where kind of like I've started to build up, and I want to figure out a way to put this into a video form and have a weekly video to track progress of my skills and how I'm working on it. I'm going to figure out a way to do that. If you guys think of a way, if you want to watch me play guitar and maybe have a live stream chat on Thursdays or something, let me know. I think that would be fun. Dylan, I'd watch your stuff. I'd listen to a couple of your songs. Nice.
It's so early before. So just for context, so you know what the hell. I appreciate that, Dan. But just so you know what the hell we talk about. I was talking about social media and how, like, for me, posting on social media, one of the things that I struggle with is the post threshold, which is always who gives a fuck. So right before I'm about to post something on Facebook or Twitter or Instagram or anywhere, the question that crossed my mind is this really something that anybody following will give a shit about? And 90% of the time, the answer is no. But that's social media, though. When it comes to actually releasing like full-on content, that's a different thing. The reason I don't put that out often is because my quality threshold is quite high.
Yeah,
it's a little too high.
And that's what Dylan's going to be having some involvement with some of the covers. I don't know how much Dylan wants to put into this, but it's the threshold isn't going to be quite as high for the covers I'm doing.
I'll probably end up putting in way more than I plan to. That's usually how these things go.
If I get any sponsorships for it, buddy, I'll split it with you, okay?
Anytime I get asked to collab on a project that is musically related, I always end up signing up for a certain amount and then doing way overboard what I said I was going to do.
Hey, man, can you just auto-tune my voice here?
No, I'll go through with Revoice Pro, which is my software, and I'll sit down for 8 hours and I'll go through every note and massage it.
Bangs just said something that just brought me to my knees. Reddit is safer than Discord. Wow.
In some circles, yeah, sure.
I guess so, yeah.
Overall, the average I don't think is the case, but maybe in audio, perhaps.
I've gotten review bombed a few times from Reddit.
I have never signed up for Reddit. I have zero interest in signing up for Reddit.
I enjoy Reddit for what it is.
I enjoy being a reader of Reddit, but I would never engage in conversation on Reddit.
I have a few times just to get those upvotes. I've had some good jokes, but that's about it.
I guess I shouldn't say I never, because a year from now I probably will, and then.
GTA 6, GTA 6. I did put this in the title, and I didn't even mention it. Oh my God, we're getting a GTA 6, guys.
I thought 5 would be the end of it.
No. They've been talking. Apparently, they're well into the development of GTA 6.
Do we know the setting of this one? Do we know?
No, nothing. I deleted Aiden's post.
Moscow!
No, Bangs, you deleted a couple of my posts because I was and that's not the, I don't think that's toxic behavior. I understand the self-promotion on Reddit. I was just, when I first started out, I was throwing some reviews up on Reddit in the microphone. Just let me know what you think. And Bangs deleted a couple of them.
Under what?
Self-promotion.
Oh.
Because you're really not supposed to be like spamming groups with your stuff. But when I was first starting out, I was like, well, you've got a whole group of people that like microphones. Tell me what you think of the review.
Like you would. Oh, okay. I thought you would like post about a microphone and ask for like what.
No,
people thought of the microphone.
I'd post my video and whatever.
Okay.
I had a left wrist break. Took about a year to get back the movement. Still pain. Segovia had arthritis. Kept playing. Yeah, be lovely if you guys do some guitar stuff. Yeah, I do plan on doing and evolving it. I'm gonna see how it kind of plays out. No pun intended. I really do want to bring that the musical aspect into this, because not just voiceover, but music's been such a huge part of my life. I haven't touched it in so long though. I released an album in 2008 and I just never really looked back.
I mean, that album was a clusterfuck as far as the process was concerned.
Yeah,
so
that
can't
was the
say
whole
I
thing.
blame you.
Yeah, self-promotion on a content production sub doesn't last long. And yeah, and I understand that. I never really went back to Reddit because I got review bombed when someone else posted one of my videos, and then just people coming from, and literally they were telling me came from Reddit just to give you a thumbs down, go F yourself. I got a lot of really negative stuff. So I'm like, yep, never touching Reddit again. Screw that.
Bunch of toxic douchebags.
Dan, Bangs, if you ever change your mind and want to be on the DCS Discord, we'll love to have you. Bangs, I'll give you the hammer if you want it, buddy.
We've talked about that.
I'll make you a mod, buddy. I'll make you a mod if you want to have a little bit of teeth on a Discord server. You let me know, brother. We'll talk. But
or sister, or sibling,
yeah,
of some kind.
I have to go. My wife's on the way home, and they expect dinner when they get home. Thanks everybody, especially the super chats. Love you guys.
The comments were much easier to manage this week.
They were. Last week was hell, man.
Yeah.
Not hell in a bad way.
Time just ripping through them, trying to catch up.
Bangs, if you had power, don't worry, I would still have ultimate power. So you wouldn't be completely the almighty, if you will. But I'll leave that. You can consider it, Bangs. You know how to get a hold of me. I am on Reddit. Feel free to drop me a line if you ever decide to change your mind. Feel free to hit me up, brother or sister or whomever you are. I know a guy here in Scotland working for the Rockstar Games North. The GTA 6 development was on and off for almost a decade. Now they just keep milking the GTA 5. They just announced it today that they're actually in GTA 6 development. They're well into it as well. So, yeah, great stream. Thanks a lot, guys. I appreciate it. Thanks for making our Friday fun. And we'll see you next week with another live stream, and have yourself a great weekend. Oh, by the way, I've got the video on the Revelator IO24 coming out Monday.